Hey, you guys, it's Cam, one half of the Football Frame of Mind podcast team. Just giving a week 11 recap and a week 12 preview, man. So before we get started, man, let's give a big shout out to our sponsors, man. Off the Ball Network, man, and Bet US, man. They have so much to offer, man. Both of our sponsors, man. We are appreciative of Off the Ball Network, man, for the inclusiveness, man, that they give us, man, in the group chat on their network. They allow us to do so much and reach a whole different audience, man, and we appreciate everything. Bet US, man, being our sponsor, man, has allowed us a chance to, continue their mission of being the best sports book out there, one of the oldest sports books out there. So they take care of all your gambling needs, man. We got a link for both of our sponsors in our description, man. So just check it out, man. And, it might be able to help you, might not be, but hey, give it a shot. Another thing, man, we're everywhere. We're streaming everywhere now. Spotify, Google Podcasts, Deezer, wherever you get your podcast from, we are on there. Just type in Football Frame of Mind or the Football Frame of Mind podcast. We should be pop right up, man. It has a football field as our picture. So, like I said, you'll know it's us. So, check it out, man. And one last thing, man, we have a store now, man. Check it out. On our YouTube page, man, Football Frame of Mind podcast. Also, so check it out, man. We starting some merch, man. So check it out. You don't like it, cool, whatever. But the thought it counts, man. Just check it out. Give us some feedback too, man. So without further ado, let's get into this. Recap and preview, man. So Week 11 was outstanding, man. You're starting to see a lot of the teams separate themselves, man. I mean, it's some teams that are going to be picking in the draft, high in the draft, so they're going to be doing, trying to prepare for that and put on a good face, man. But it's not going to go too well, man. So, but let's start with the recap, man. I'll start with my Ravens, man. But first, before we get into that game, man, prayers for Joe Burrow out for the season, man. You never want to see somebody being out for the season. The team really needs him. But my Ravens put some hits on them, man. Ravens are 8-3, man. Lamar Jackson, I said last week, had to play a lot better. And he did, man. 16 for 26, 264 passing yards, and no interceptions with 2 touchdowns. So that's what I wanted to see. I need to see more performances like that from LJ because that's how we can win a Super Bowl. If he has no interceptions, no fumbles, no nothing like that. And Gus Edwards has to do what he did again, man. I mean, he's so wishy-washy sometimes. Sometimes he gives you the best 60 yards ever, and then sometimes he gives you the worst 40 yards ever. So it's important to realize that, man, and just keep feeding him. I think he gets more confidence, especially in the goal line when he can get a touchdown. So if we can get him in the goal line, it's cool, man. So like I said, Odell Beckham got 100 yards, man. I heard it's the first time in a couple years he's got 100 yards. So it's good, man. Glad to have him back, man. He is a good option, man, for us, man. So I like him on our team, man. He's really good. So good win for us, man. Sorry for the Bengals, man. But, hey, we got a Super Bowl defense, and they out there hitting. So, like I said, great win for us, man. So next game I want to talk about, man, is the Raiders and Dolphins, man. So if you watch our podcast, listen to our podcast, the Dolphins is my Super Bowl pick, man. But I'm not really talking about the Dolphins right now. The Raiders really made it difficult for Miami, man. Las Vegas, man, they with a new coach, man, Antonio Pierce. I talked about him and a couple episodes ago, man. I like what he's saying. I like his attitude. The players like him. So, I mean, this was an effort game, man. I mean, they need help. Obviously, they're not like a team that's going to, win a Super Bowl, but they have talent, and it's really good to see, them show effort, man. To hold a team that scored 70 this season to only 20 points, I think that's really good, man. But shifting focus to the Dolphins, man. Let's look at Tyreek Hill, man. Tyreek Hill seems to be on a mission to get 2,000 yards this year. Another 100 plus yard season, man. I mean, 100 plus yard game, one touchdown, man. One of Tua Tagovailoa's two. But slowly but surely, man, he is building up like a lot of games, man. Like a lot of games that you're looking at him and it's really becoming like, really hard to ignore the fact that he might get 2,000, man. So, I mean, we keep monitoring that, but definitely a good game from him, man. So, the next game I want to talk about is the Eagles and Chiefs, man. We'll go with that one, man. All right, the Kelsey Bowl, man. So, Mahomes is I don't know what to say, man. It's been a string of really weird, bad performances for him. Maybe they're bored and just want to go to the playoffs, man. But lately, it seems like teams have been figuring them out, man. Like I said, not like a crazy game because both teams are really talented. But, Jalen Hurts was, just regular in this game, man. 150 yards, interception. But Devontae Smith, man, 6 catches, 99 yards, man. But Mahomes has just been just weirdly bad lately, man. Just not his surgical self, man. So, Kansas City took a loss. That's 3. The Eagles 9-1, my other Super Bowl team. So they keep trucking along, and hey, like I said, they're looking like the representative for the Super Bowl this year. So nothing too crazy, man. Last game I really want to talk about, man, before we get into the Week 12 preview. I want to talk about the Cardinals and Texans, man. I don't really want to talk about the Cardinals pretty much, except that Kyler Murray came back and played pretty good, man, for a guy that's been out for a little while. So, I mean, he was 20 for 30 for 214 yards, man, and a touchdown. But C.J. Stroud continues to, get through his maturation process as a rookie quarterback in the NFL. But, it's really good, man. I mean, the Texans are 6-4 and really, on the up and up, if you really want to say that. Another win, 6-4. So, I mean, playoffs is definitely achievable. And that was probably not a lot of people's prediction in the season. So, it's really good to see, man. Me and Brandon talked about the Texans, man, with the fact that we talked about C.J. Stroud being the most pro-ready quarterback coming out in the draft. And they got Will Anderson Jr. too on defense. So that's 2 cornerstones that you can build around, you know what I'm saying? So definitely a team to watch and a team to really look out for moving forward. So like I said, a lot of good games last week, man. But let's get into this preview, man. Thanksgiving Day games, obviously. So let's start with those, man. I want to talk about the Commanders and Cowboys, man. That's one game that intrigues me, man. So the Cowboys are obviously really talented as a team. So I don't know what to expect from them, you know what I'm saying, in this game, except for, Dak doing Dak, and then CD Lamb having a bunch of yards. So I expect that. But for the Commanders, offensively, they've been pretty good this season when passing the ball a lot in terms of passing attempts. I think they've shifted focus instead of being kind of a ground and pound play action type team, just kind of letting Sam Howell do his thing, man. A couple games he's had 40 or more passing attempts, so they're really kind of letting him do his thing. I think the Cowboys win this game just because they have more of a cohesive defense. And it seems like the Commanders, I apologize, are still figuring it out on that side of the ball, which is crazy because they got a bunch of talent over there. But lately, last few years, they haven't really figured that out, man. At least, well, I'll take it back. The last few years, it was offense. Now it seems like offense is figuring it out and defense has not figured it out. So there you go, man. So that's one game I'm looking at, man. Another game I want to look at is let's see. I'm talking about the Eagles and Bills, man. So Eagles and Bills is interesting, man, because the Bills is like one of those teams that you just don't know what you're going to get every Sunday or Monday or Thursday. You don't know what you're going to get. And right now, 6-5 is not where we really thought the Bills were going to go. I think a lot of people had the Bills one of the top 5 teams in the league, and now they're just looking pedestrian. So I feel like the Eagles are going to just kind of run through this as another game and just continue to win. I expect the Eagles to go 10-1. Obviously, that's my Super Bowl team, so I'm a little biased, but I just haven't seen the string of performances from the Bills that maybe you were expecting at this point, man. Josh Allen, coming into the season, I thought he was going to be like kind of take that next step and maybe beat Mahomes to try to, put his name in that top 5 quarterback kind of rankings. But he doesn't look like that right now. So, like I said, I think the Eagles' defense is too much. And, yeah, Eagles win. So, yeah. But, last game I want to talk about is my Ravens going against the Chargers. So the Chargers are 4-6, man. But with a team like they have, they could easily be like 6-4. So I'm actually interested to see this matchup because I want to see our defense get after another good quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So the better quarterbacks we play, the more confident I feel about our defense. So another good one, Herbert. Obviously, Herbert has this injury to his hand that I think is like affecting him more than people really understand sometimes. And it just feels like he has all the talent in the world, but that thumb, hand, whatever, is just really messing up a lot of his throws, man. It just seems like he's off left, right, up, and down. Like he really just can't get the throws he wants to do. But like I said, man, my Ravens have a Super Bowl defense, man. I can't stress that enough. Turnovers on offense is really what kind of caused us to really lose 3 games this year. You know what I'm saying? Like we've had some games where Lamar is just turnover friendly, and we have no running game to complement his passing, which is really what works for him. If he has a good running game and he's a part of the running game, it's going to be hard to beat us. So I really want to see if he can string together another good performance passing the ball like we saw last week with no interceptions and 200-plus yards. So and then another good performance by Gus Edwards, and I think would really go well in cementing in my confidence that he can give us what we need for a long playoff run. So like I said, Chargers, Ravens, Chargers, wherever you want to do it. That's the last game of the preview for Week 12. But before I get up out of here, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, man. Hope you have time with your families and enjoy it, eat a lot of food, and enjoy some football, man. So this is Cameron from the Football Frame of Mind podcast team signing off.